Hello everybody, it is I, Cool, back again, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Propwash Junction Biplane. This is an item I've wanted for a scarily long time, since 2023 or 4, I believe. This is such an obscure cars item. Probably one of the most obscure. Literally nobody I know talks about this thing. And I'm pretty sure there's barely any reviews of it online. Now, you might be looking at him and saying, isn't that the one plane from the Cars movie? And I would say, no, that's Barney Stormin. This guy is a completely separate character. Propwash Junction Biplane appears in two places in the Cars franchise. His first appearance is in Air Mater. In the Air Mater short, you can see him coming out of one of the hangars. He's one of the many planes that Mater sees on his travels to Propwash Junction. Speaking of Propwash Junction, because he's named Propwash Junction Biplane. But his other appearance is ironically in planes, but not in Propwash Junction. He appears at the qualifiers for the Wings Around the Globe rally. He's like in the background. He's one of the planes spectating. I believe he actually flies over in one scene. He's kind of like this in the movie. So yeah, very interesting character for that reason, that he's technically a Planes character that was released as a Cars character, which is a very interesting thing. I'm assuming the reason they chose to make the Propwash Junction biplane is because he was an easy retool of Barney Stormin, and they really wanted a traditional propeller plane. For the Take Flight collection, since the Take Flight collection was, promotional material for planes. And so that was sort of what made me want this guy a lot, is because of that weird status of being technically a Cars and Planes character. He's like the missing link, but for Cars and Planes, I guess. Interesting thing about him is that he's actually inaccurate. Because he's a recolor of Barney Stormin, who is a tri-prop plane, I believe. That's what they call these, because he has 3 propellers. Very similar to Dusty Crophopper, as you can see. But in reality, Propwash Junction biplane is supposed to have 2 propellers, like my other biplane, Lead Bottom from Planes. Irony at its finest. But, putting all that aside, he's a pretty well-designed model. He has plastic wings, which is really interesting because I believe Barney Stormin, by this point, had metal wings, not plastic. So I don't know why they made him plastic for this one. He has his mouth, which is unpainted here. I believe it was painted on Barney Stormin, but it's not on this one. Bit of an interesting expression. He has raised eyelids. You can barely tell. I don't have my flashlight on me, but if I zoom in, yeah, you can see he has raised eyelids. Silver propeller. Just a classic red and white plane design. Pretty standard. Pretty standard design. Yeah, he has the red parts on him over here. Pretty basic designed item. He's not a super detailed character. He really is just a recolor Barney Stormin, but it's so cool that they made this character, because again, this is like one of the most obscure items ever made in the diecast line. I'm really happy to finally own him. Got him for around $20. Got him in a bunch of like hauls with some other cars. Here's the base. This is the China variant. From what I heard, the Thailand variant of this guy, because the Take Flight collection was made in Thailand, is much more common. I don't know what the story was with that, but I find it interesting because, Thailand would later go on to take over the entire Cars line. So yeah, here he is, made in China. Very interesting indeed. Again, going to quickly compare him to Lead Bottom. As you can see, much taller, much less, damaged than Lead Bottom. Lead Bottom has the exhaust here. He's a bit shorter. Both have the classic aviator cap helmet. I always loved how they got around the issue of most planes don't have cabins. These kinds of biplanes don't have cabins, so how did they, give them eyes? They made them aviator caps. That is so adorable. I love it. So yeah, that's how that happened. It's always nice getting another Cars Tunes item. Like, I just love the Cars Tunes so much. One of my favorite things to collect cars from, and I'm so happy to finally have the Propwash Junction Biplane in my collection. I've also wanted him for another reason, and that is I really want to do more stuff with Propwash Junction, you know, where the Planes characters live. I've been teasing an idea for a series about Propwash Junction that I would really love to get off the ground at some point. So I think if I will, Propwash Junction Biplane will definitely be making some appearances in that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoy the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye-bye!